Myra and I are done.
So let's talk about the good times we had.
Let's talk about
all
the
our
good
lives.
times. Let's see.
Well, I remember first the Anderses with all of us putting up all kinds of tricks. And Mrs. Anders laughing about it, going along with it. Were you and Willard the one that did the hand thing in the trunk?
The hand in the trunk.
Yeah, the dead hand.
Oh, did we do a hand in the That was D. We did the one that coasted in the car down there.
But Myra remembers well.
But Willard and I did the one with you and D in the back seat.
Tell that, you tell that, because that was your trick against me.
Okay.
Oh my
Oh, I
God.
will tell
We're on
together.
camera.
I know that this is trouble.
Oh, this is trouble when this happens.
Well, we got this idea that we were going to play a trick on you and Francis and D. Myra.
Right.
And we got the idea because we were coming back from Ohio University from seeing you guys.
And a man was welding.
A man was welding on a barn, but at the time, all it looked like were flashes of white light coming out of the woods.
Yeah.
And that tied into the accounts of these unexplained phenomena, these UFOs that were being sighted at that time. Thank you all for letting me keep the script going.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Jim, I was pitching it back to you.
And I jumped out of the car and said, I have to see this. I want to see a flying saucer. And I ran up to the top of the hill and I faked it, but it was actually just welding. And so we decided that the next year we would have, the next week,
The next weekend or whatever.
the next we would have this trick. And so we did all of these weird things. We painted, we wired Miriam's car up so that it would turn off automatically.
And you had illuminated paper, fluorescent.
Yeah.
So glued in the dark.
Right, and we pasted it on our
They were the labels off of envelopes.
Yeah, right. We put fluorescent paint on it. And we suggested to you that, and you were very suggestive, we suggested we smelled the plastics in the car. And you said, oh yes, yes, I smell it, I smell it.
No, D did first.
Oh, did D do
The
it
important part was,
yeah.
the important part was that we always said D would never go along with it.
So I don't forget it, yeah.
Okay, thanks a lot, Melvin. Yeah, we'll
Alright.
see you. Thanks for coming.
I'm coming back out. I gotta
Okay.
go somewhere right now, but I'm coming right back.
Bye, dear.
Yeah, bye, Florence. Good to
Bye-bye.
see you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take care. Hope it isn't this long. You want to see you again.
Well, I hope it isn't either. Maybe it won't be. Bless your heart. Good to see you, Judy.
Take care of yourself.
Yeah, you too. Yeah, bye.
And I remember I was so proud of D because, no, first off you had to put the thing on your head. Like,
Yeah.
you held it out the window.
Well, what was funny was we had said on the way out the worst person to convince would be D. McFarland.
Yeah.
Because he was so scientific and analytical that he wouldn't believe anything. And we turned up the road and someone said, do you smell that? And D was the first one that did. Which leads me to wonder what was happening in the back seat.
And Francis and I held hands in the back seat because we were afraid already.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then when we
And
got
he
to
had-
the designated place, there was an abandoned house. Remember? And we had
Yeah.
to stop the car. We had already surveyed this out. And I was to cut the wires in the car. You had them hooked together, and I cut them so all the lights went dead.
Everything went dead.
And remember, we knew that D would ask for the flashlight, so Jim deliberately used the flashlight on the way up to the site
Yeah.
to look at the map, and then he cleverly turned the battery around,
Right.
put it back in the glove compartment, and when D asked for the flashlight and it didn't work, D was really hooked.
But he was smart enough to unscrew the back,
Didn't
and
he
he
do that?
found that the batteries were reversed. He said, somebody reversed the batteries in this flashlight. But he was
But
so
be-
scared.
But before he did that, though, Willard had the fluorescent things
On my head.
against the headlights, and he put it on the head.
Yeah.
And D says, my God, what's that thing on your head?
Yeah,
and he
right.
reached for it. I remember being so proud of him because he was always so shy.
Okay,
True.
now who is going to
Yeah.
be willing in this script to tell what happened to Francis? Was it Francis?
Francis
Marion.
No.
Miriam
But
was in
was
on
with
it.
us.
She was in on it.
Yeah, well,
It was
Marion
Francis
fell,
Cassie in the back seat.
yeah, well, Marion fell down on the ground, and
She
we
like
fell
she
on top
fainted.
of it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
like
right.
you were in a
And she laughed
trance.
so hard that she peed herself.
I didn't know that.
Yes,
It's true.
Well, we didn't
After
tell
all
her-
these years?
We didn't
Yeah.
tell everybody. Did we get that messed up? But
Now what happened to
No, no.
Francis?
Oh,
Francis.
that was it. That was it.
Well, Francis, our group of 9 became a group of 8, I think.
That's right. I think so.
Yeah.
I think we had
She never
someone lose
forgave
out on
us.
that. They never
Yeah.
gave
But
up.
I was so afraid. Then they finally confessed it was a trick, right? And I went home, and I was in college, right, 18, 19 years old. I slept with my mother. Didn't know that? Didn't know that?
That's hilarious.
I did.
Well,
That was our
that's the
space
story.
age.
That was the
Yeah.
ultimate, I think.
Let me say goodbye here.
Okay, turn off that machine.
Yeah, turn it off. So.
Please. The flash went off like a real gunshot, see? And it was like Jim and Dee were fighting in front of the headlights, right? Pretend. And then this flash and this shot. And of course he was ready for it. He says, listen, look, you know. So she was all clued into it.
And she
And
thought
so
a
Jim
murder
fell
had
because he
occurred.
fell in the mud. And then we went, he had to go somewhere else to give us time to get back to the
I
Anders
was supposed
house.
to take the long way home
Right.
while you guys took the shortcut.
We went down, the Andersons were on Green Street, and we went down there, and Jim was a mess. We had to go, we were all wet and everything. We had to get all cleaned up.
To make it look like
And
we
then
were
just
surrounding
waiting
the
there,
party.
and they arrived in and told us all about this murder. So.
Of course, they had just been there. But what was funny was the part you guys got out of, and it practically killed me, was we were going to take the Kaywood Road home, down around Kaywood to get there, to give you guys time to get back. And Miriam was so terrified that she slid over next to me. I was driving her car on that gravel road where that bridge is down there, that I have to make a 90-degree turn to go under the railroad tracks.
Yeah.
Miriam slid over. She was so scared she put her foot on top of my foot on the gas. I could not get my foot up. We were heading toward this. I had to aim toward the upside of that, thinking, well, we're either going to hit it or go through. And that car just slid through there. I'm screaming, Miriam, get your foot off my foot. She was so afraid they were following us. She was just terrified. I will never forget that. Oh, that was unbelievable. And I do not want my children to ever see this tape.
They will.
They will.
God
And Mrs.
will.
Andrews, of course, was in on it. But she said, you guys, she was so patient.
Well, remember, Miriam called the sheriff right away.
She wanted to call the
Jean
sheriff.
Ellis, right?
But I don't think, your mother didn't let her, did she?
No. We wanted her to, but Mom said, Mom told her.
Yeah.
Okay, because
Mom-
I knew something happened to stop the call.
Yeah,
And,
that was it.
and it was Easter time, so for her good naturedness, we gave her one of those colored chickens, used to color them blue chickens. I thought that was just so bad.
Yeah.
We almost killed Mrs. Andrews with love. We really did. That poor woman had to put up with so much. I've got to get down where it's cooler. I am so
Yeah.
warm.
Well, go ahead. That's fine.
Well, I better retrieve my wife.
Happy birthday.